which brings us to our last film, which I saved it for last for a reason. And of course, that is Tyler Perry's Divorce in the Black. And this is a story that follows Ava, a young bank professional who is devastated when her husband abandons their marriage. Charles, I'm going to start with this one because I've thought a little bit about what I want to say. Couple of things, right? Now, if you watched Keeping It Real with Film Gordon at any point over the 15 years we've been on the air, you sort of have an idea of how I feel, not about Tyler Perry, the person, but Tyler Perry, the writer, director, right? And for the most part, I would say I've been pretty consistent over the course of Perry's career that I have pretty much castigated the work that Perry has done because I think he's an amazing businessman. I interviewed him earlier this year, really cool dude. But, you know, my credibility and the credibility of our show, my organizations, and everything that I do is predicated on my ability to be honest when it comes to filmmaking, right? And also to preference that because I'm not a huge fan of the majority of the work that Tyler Perry does, it's almost the same as what's the name of that director, Charles, that did the Thin Red Line, and he did God, he did a series of films that were like 10 years ago that I was like, I just hate everything this guy does, man. What was the movie he did with Brad Pitt and the one that had dinosaurs in it, and I can't remember.
Oh, you're talking about Terrence Malick.
Terrence Malick, right? Terrence Malick just routinely makes movies I don't like, right? So it's not a black thing, it's not a white thing, it's an art thing, right? Like I love Brian De Palma. I'm willing to give Brian De Palma, and I've said this to you on the show, if you like a director, you're willing to give that director the benefit of a doubt, like Spike Lee. I like Spike Lee films, right? So I go into them predisposed to liking them because I like Spike Lee's work, or Spielberg's work, or Nolan's work, or Scorsese's work, or any of the other auteurs or directors that I really, really like, right? So having said that, Tyler Perry has had 64 projects. I looked it up on IMDb. Charles, just as a guess, what do you think the highest rated on IMDb, the highest rated Tyler Perry movie? What would you think it would be?
That he made?
That he made, that he directed.
Probably
Just take
somewhere
a guess.
I'll say probably 5 something. 5.4, 5.5.
No. That movie hasn't come out yet. I said the highest rated one he's made that's been released into theaters.
Yeah, no, I can't think of anything that would be higher than.
You floundering. Let me help you. What was the one movie I reviewed on this show and I said might be the best film that Tyler Perry ever made? What was that film called?
Oh, I forgot all about it. Jazz Man's Blues.
Jazz Man Blues. That's the highest rated movie that Tyler Perry's made on IMDb. And it's the highest rated by a lot, right? Because majority of Tyler Perry's movies fall between like 5, maybe 5.8. Jazz Man Blues is at 6.8. So having said that, right, I had to look that up because I wanted to trust, like, am I just a shade throwing hater about Tyler Perry, or am I in a club and like people see what I'm seeing, right? Now, having said that, because I like the Jazz Man's Blues, we saw it in Toronto. I was like, man, that's a pretty good film. That's the only film he's really made that held my attention from start to finish. And I walked out going, that one was not terrible at all. That was pretty good, right? Now, which leads me back to this movie, right? Over the last 5 years, we've had Mea Culpa. We've had, God, what was that pandemic one he did on Netflix that was just god awful, man? The one with the bad
You talk a Fall from Grace.
Fall from Grace. that he didn't understand the law when he was writing. That there's a scene where a character is handcuffed and put on a police car, and then the policeman gets a call, and then takes off and leaves the guy handcuffed.
Yeah, yeah.
So I've said that part of my issue with this movie, because I had to call my woman in the middle of it, because the first 20 minutes, I was sitting here like my stomach was in knots. Like I was like, I'm really not liking this movie. And I even called Charles, and Charles was watching it at the same time. And he was like, yeah, we'll just talk about it on the show. Charles, I don't understand. And I told this to my love. I don't understand that if you're having some emotional issues, get a therapist, man. Bring in a psychiatrist while you're writing. Bring in a writing partner. Bring in somebody else. And as they say on the streets, make it make sense. Why is it that we have these films that Perry routinely makes that have these professional women, like Kelly Rowland was a banker in her movie. This woman is a banker in this one. There's always these really, really smart women who just make really dumb, life decisions, right? So, and I didn't set this up properly. So pretty much the story is about a woman who's a professional woman who marries, for lack of a better term, like just a ghetto hood dude.
He's a hoodlum. He's a hoodlum.
A hoodlum who doesn't respect her, doesn't love her, and she is in there despite the fact that her best friend, her mama, her daddy, everybody around her is like, you know you can do better than this. She's like, no, I need to, you taught me to hang in there. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. And as the story evolves, it makes less and less sense because everybody, Charles, everybody knows this dude is crazy, except the person that's married to him, who's like just so nonchalant. And I just thought it was like after Perry making some moves forward with Jazzman's Blues, mea culpa, I was giving him the benefit of a doubt because you were doing some interesting stuff. This is a bad movie. I'm not gonna say it's the worst one he's ever made. This is a bad movie. It's a bad movie. Charles Kirkland, your turn, man.
Okay.
Movie.
my hate game is strong, but when I had my wife watch this film with me, and after we got finished the film, I did a praise dance. And you was like, if this film was so bad, why is Charles Kirkman doing a praise dance? I'm gonna let you go inside baseball. We wanted this film for the Light Reel Film Festival, and we never got it. This is one of those times when you say, God knows. Because oh my God, if this film was horrible from the very beginning of the film. Richard Lawson, who played on All My Children with Debbie Morgan, who's also in this film, as Megan Good's parents. He is like the worst pastor I've ever encountered in my lifetime. And I was like, I don't understand. And I mean, nothing made sense in the film. Tyler never took the time to flesh out why in the first place did these two people get together. I mean, I'm like, I am mortified by this film. I don't understand how we got here. The ending tried to redeem it, but it was just dumb from beginning to end, and all the way through. I was just like, I can't believe this. I can't believe this. And my wife, she likes Tyler Perry stuff, like all the Medea things she's down for, and she was like, this is not working.
Charles, can I just jump in for a second? Because we got like 2 minutes before we get off the air. I got to put this in. The opening sequence. Now, I've seen Tyler Perry do some drama in his movies. That was ridiculous.
It was
ridiculous.
Horrible.
Ridiculous.
On all sides. On all sides. Everybody involved in that first scene was horrible. And it was just the worst piece of written thing I've ever seen in my life.
So since we got like 2 minutes, man, what are you gonna give it? Because we've said enough, man. It's on Prime. You be the judge. You'll call us up next week or send us emails. Y'all tripping. That movie was good. Okay.
No, I dare you. I dare you to say that to
Okay.
me.
What are you giving this Charles as a grade?
Can I go lower than an F?
Nope.
Can I do? Nope. Okay, well, there it is. F, F, or F, F, F. Perry for doing this.
I'm gonna give it an F plus. Uh, bruh. Or I got a better one for you. I got a friend of mine who, from New York, who loves to say awful. This movie gets 5 awfuls. Awful, awful. I'm sorry, but we got to get out of here, man. As I tell you guys in closing every week, please see something good at the movies, man. You've heard our reviews. You be the judge. On behalf of my man Charles Kirkland Jr., I am Tim Gordon. It's awful. Just next week, I'm out. Awful.